Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursaleen Abul Qasim Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma kulli wajhika wa hujjatika sallallahu alaihi wa ala fi hadhihi as-sa'a fi kulli sa'a ولي وحافظها وطيب وناصرها ودليل واحد قد تسكنه وزكاة وأرضه فيها سبيلا. Dear brothers and sisters, tomorrow is 10th of Ramadan, the day where the wafat of Bibi Khadija. So we are approaching the night, inshallah, in a few minutes. So in today's talk, in my talk, I divided into two parts. The one part, I wanted to connect what I left in my previous talk. I want to talk a little bit of it because I felt like I could not conclude, although I gave you guys a homework, but I know how good I am doing homework. So the second part of my talk would be a little bit about the life of the baby Khadija and few words about the Musiba, inshallah. So if I could connect from the last session that we had, I was talking about the inheritance of characters. We inherit a lot of habits and characters, and if you pay attention in your life, you will feel it. It's not a rocket science. You know there are a lot of things you are doing the exactly same way your parent or your ancestor used to do. Even though when you were a child, you might not like that, but you are still doing it. You are forced to do it because they imprinted in your life. I also talked about that we can improve on it, we can build on it if it's a great foundation, if something good we learn, we can build on it, inshallah, and make it better. But sometimes some habits are not good. We have to get rid of it, and it's hard. So today, I want to focus. I found one thing, one rawayat, or one incident that I personally feel that might be very helpful. There might be several other things, but to best of my limited knowledge, I thought this might be a starter. So I want to discuss that one, and that's a Hadith Unwan Basari that I just introduced you in the last lecture without explaining it. So why it's so important to change that? Because as I was mentioning, if you don't do that or don't help your kid to do it, it will transfer. If it's good, you can improve on it, you can build on it, it's a great thing. But sometimes there's alternative or a better version available. Even sometimes we find it's hard to adapt because I used to do same way, even if the better version of the same thing available, I don't want to do it. And sometimes what I'm doing is not correct, then we have to change it and stop it. So when I talk about the Hadith Unwan Basari, and I thought what Imam said to Unwan Basari, that's the good thing where we can start, and it based on few facts that Imam talked about, and I want to go little bit on that, and it's so easy to practice. It's not something like some amal where you have to do some really hard work, and sometimes some of the amal are really hard. I mean, it's not easy, to follow, but this one is so easy to follow. We have to just pay a little attention on things, what Imam said, and it's so easy. Almost everyone, without any excuse, can follow this hadith. So let me go a little bit about the background of this hadith first, because that's very important to understand, and we can extract a few things from it, from the background of the hadith, the whole rawaya. The rawaya was reported by Shaykh Bahai, and there's a whole chain of narration. I'm not going to go but there was a man, a 94-year-old with the name Unwan al-Basri, and he came to Imam and he said that for a number of years I frequently visited Malik ibn Anas. And so when Jafar as-Sadiq alayhi salam came to Medina, I also visited him and I wished to learn from him in the same way I learned from Malik. Now here I want to stop for a second. The man is 94-year-old and he used to attend the classes of Malik ibn Anas. Now at this stage, he wants to learn more and he is visiting to Imam Jafar as-Sadiq. So now you can relate like a man of 94-year-old. When we go 94, at that day, I don't know what we will do, but think about his desire and also later on in this hadith, it explains why he wants to learn that so that he can practice better. He wants more knowledge. He's not satisfied by attending the class of Anas, Malik ibn Anas. So he wants more. He's not satisfied there. So when he reached Imam one day, and then Imam said that people demand much from me. However, I have many important rituals to perform. So why Imam kind of denied him? There's another aspect of it. If you look, and I want to, think about this a little bit. So he reached to Imam. He said that I used to go to Malik ibn Anas, but I want to learn from you. And Imam kind of indirectly said, I'm busy. People come to me and demand so much, even though I have a lot of rituals to perform of my own. Imam, if you see the Sirat Imam, this is not the Sirat Imam. Imam never denied it, if anyone goes. But here's the thing. There's a difference between I want the knowledge and I'm passionate about learning something. Imam wanted to tell their message. Some students are here, alhamdulillah. They want to become something. Everyone wants to become something, but is there enough? And we all know, we all have gone to college, universities, schools. Wanting something is not enough unless you have a passion to become something. So Imam wanted, the way I understand it, when Imam indirectly said, sorry, I'm busy, right? Imam wanted to test his passion. He just wants to get more knowledge or he's really into it. So he mentioned that, and that's his own word, that I was disappointed by this. I left Jafar as-Sadiq and said to myself, and now this is again a very good learning here. He said to himself, if he had, means Imam Jafar had seen any good in me, he would have not prevented me from visiting and learning from him. Now, here's another learning how he interpreted it, that why Imam could not allow me to sit and learn. That means he might have not seen any good in me. Now, you see the passion. It's not like, okay, if I go to Imam, I want something. It's about really, am I deserving for it? So now, Unwan al-Basri is mentioning that. So I entered the mosque of the messenger, peace be upon him, and sent my greeting to him. I returned to the shrine and prayed 2 rakat and asking, O Allah, make the heart of Jafar kind toward me and bless me with his knowledge through which I will be guided to your straight path. Here is things, why he need knowledge and why do we need knowledge? And then if I could extend it a little bit sometime, and it's unfortunate, I don't want to say harsh things here, but and number one, I don't deserve, because this stage belong to someone for whom Allah said, use the word Bashiram wa Nazira. Here is the boundary. Whoever come here even though like me, who is absolutely non-deserving, has to be to give you whatever within that boundary, Bashira wa Nazira. So if I say sometime hard word, that's reminder for myself and for you, and sorry about that, because I have to fulfill this criteria, that because the Prophet was someone who came here to give you Bashara and to warn you, and whoever used his stage, this is my personal feeling, has to deliver under that boundary. So sometimes, maybe if my word is hard, sometimes please forgive me. And I know I don't deserve this, but it's also reminder for myself as well. So what is the purpose actually? And we get sometimes lost there. He's showing the purpose, why he wants to get knowledge. He wants to get knowledge so that he can be guided toward the straight path. Alhamdulillah, for us being born in a family who always have love with our Ahlul Bayt, being born in a Shia family and getting everything just for being born there. It's like we got everything so, easily. The problem here, which I see sometime, is these rituals, the Islamic rituals, they are means to reach somewhere. But unfortunately, we think that this is the destination. This is not the destination. Azadari, when we gather for birth anniversary of our Imam, when we gather to mourn death anniversaries of our Imam, the martyrdom, even any other rituals, Islamic rituals, why we do that? That's not the target. That's the actually means to reach somewhere where we want to reach by it. We have to think about it. Oftentimes we think that that's the aim of our life. And there are some hadiths we sometimes misinterpret that when Janab Sayyida, when birth of Imam Hussein was there and Prophet was crying at that time, we quote a hadith that the Prophet said, Allah will create a nation who will mourn your son. There's no doubt about the hadith, and we are proudly that nation. But is the mourning a purpose or a means to reach a greater purpose? That's the question I want to leave with you to think about. And sometimes we think that that's the purpose. No, that's not the purpose. We are lucky to get a means to reach somewhere. So for my younger brother, if I give you a little example here to explain it better. If someone sent a beautiful car, imagine the best car, whatever, I don't know which one is, to your house and ask you to sit in the car, drive and reach to the destination. The car is so beautiful, you sit there and you enjoy the beauty and just sit there, right? You feel that without that car where you're sitting, the life is empty. Imagine without Azadari, without Muharram, without all these Islamic rituals, life is empty. But if you use the same analogy, if you don't use that car and go to the destination, then probably we have not done what we're supposed to do. So these are means to reach somewhere, to reach to the Allah, to understand the deen better. We got it, Alhamdulillah, because we were born in this family. So we have to think about it. They are the means to reach somewhere. We have to ponder about it. Are we reaching? How far we got? And what speed we need? For example, I'm 42, 43. And if I see myself where I'm right now, we might have to speed up a little bit. I don't know how much left. Maybe someone who was 10, 12, 20, they might be thinking, okay, the life is there. Someone who was 60, 70, they have to think about it. So anyway, I'm going back to my original topic. So he prayed. He wanted knowledge so that he can be guided toward the straight path. He returned straight to, he said that I returned straight to my house, not visiting Malik ibn Anas that day, because he was kind of disappointed. He said, I did not leave my house except for the obligatory prayer until I could stand it no longer. And it was after the afternoon prayer that I put on my clothes, sandals, and set out to see Imam Jafar again. When I reached to the door of his house, I asked for the permission to enter. His servant came out and asked, what is your need? And I answered, greeting an honorable one. He said, he is standing in his prayer, is a place of prayer. So I sat near his door. So he's waiting there, and then it was not long before the servant came to me saying, enter with the blessing of Allah. I entered, relaying my greeting to Jafar al-Sadiq alayhi salam, which he returned. He then said, please be seated. May Allah forgive you. I sat and he was silent for a long time. Then Imam raised his head and said, what are you known as? He said, Abu Abdullah, the father of the slave of God, I replied. He said, may Allah affirm your name and give you success. Oh, Abu Abdullah, what's your need? I said, I ask Allah to make your heart kind toward me and to bless me with the knowledge from you. I hope that Allah, the Exalted, has answered my request and regard to the Honorable One. So Imam said, oh, Abu Abdullah, knowledge is not, and this is very important, from here the actual hadith start. Imam said, oh, Abu Abdullah, knowledge is not obtained by learning, rather it is a light which enters the heart of whoever Allah, the Blessed and the Exalted, wishes to guide. That means we need to work on ourselves to be worthy of it. Because why not Allah give that knowledge, and why He will give to someone? We have to work on to be able to be like that so that Allah can give us that knowledge. So Imam said, so if you want knowledge, first find yourself the reality of slavery. And this is very important. Seek knowledge by utilizing it and ask Allah to make you understand, then He will make you understand. I said, oh, Honorable One, what is the reality of slavery? Imam said, reality of slavery has three strands. First, and this is so important, and if you can correlate in our life, Imam said, a slave does not see ownership for himself. A slave does not plan his own affair. And third, he is entirely occupied with what Allah has commanded him to do and prohibited him from doing. So we have to, in our own day-to-day knowledge, we have to understand the reality. We are slave of Allah. Quran has used the word. So the reality of slavery, Imam said, there are three pillars. Number one, the slave does not own anything because he's a slave. Everything, whatever I have is from Allah. Slave does not plan his own affair. Let Allah plan our affair. So if I let Allah plan my affair, I'll be happy. Whatever my Lord has planned is good for me. And the third, that he has to be occupied what our master, what slave's master has said, slave has to do that. So whatever I'm doing, in that way, if I understand the reality of slavery, then I should be busy doing what Allah wants me to do and what Allah has prohibited me from doing. So, and then hadith goes on, and I want to keep it short a little bit so that another three things that Imam said, I can explain. So then he asked Imam to now he said Imam created an atmosphere where he's ready, he's attentive to learn. And then he asked Imam, okay, Imam, tell me more. And from here, I want you to pay attention, and this is the actual hadith. Imam said, oh, Abu Abdullah, he said, oh, Abu Abdullah, advise me further on this matter. And Imam said, there are 9 things to advise from those seeking the path to Allah. I ask Allah to guide you in putting this advice into practice. So Imam is giving 9 advice and said 3 of them are with regard to self-discipline, and 3 of them are in regard to self-control or patience, and 3 of them are in regard to knowledge. And Imam explained further regarding to self-discipline. Imam said that be wary of eating what you eat. Do not crave for because it leads to stupidity. If you eat that you just eating for fun or just you like it but you really don't need it, Imam is saying that it will lead you to stupidity. Do not eat unless you are hungry. And if you eat what is halal and mention the name of Allah. And remember the narration of the Prophet where he says, no human has filled a cavity worse than his stomach. Let him leave a third for his food, a third for his drink, and a third for the air. So now, for the discipline, Imam, and it's so simple. Imam is advising three things for the self-discipline. Eat when you are hungry, and eat with the name of Allah, and then eat like 1/3, keep your stomach in such a way that 1/3 food, 1/3 water, 1/3 air. Means so, and you can find some other hadith that stop eating before you are full. It's so simple, so easy to follow. There's nothing much that someone say I can't follow this. So if you do this, you will get control. You'll get discipline. You will have some sort of discipline that you can use in your other day-to-day life. Now that's the first thing that Imam said, three things on that. The second one is for self-control. And this is so important. Even if we follow this in our community, almost every problem can be solved. Imam said, if someone say to you that if you say one thing of insulting to me, you will hear 10 things. And sometimes you see, people say, if you say me one insulting thing, I'll tell you 10 things. Imam said, if someone is saying this to you, you say to him, if you say 10 insulting things, you will not hear even one from me. We can work on it. That's the number one. Number two, Imam said, if someone swear to you, you say, if you are truthful in what you say, then ask Allah to forgive me. And if you are lying in what you say, then I ask Allah to forgive you. So beautiful. I mean, if you use this in our day-to-day life, if someone is saying something, or blame something or whatever, I say, okay, if you are true, what you are saying, please ask Allah for my forgiveness. And if you are not right, then I have forgiven you already. It's easy to practice. And I mean, imagine the society. If the people practice this. And the third thing of the self-control, Imam said, finally, if someone promises you obscene language, then promise him advice and care. And if someone says something which is not good, rude, you don't have to, So that's three things. The first thing is about eating. It's easy to follow. The second one about how we deal with our day-to-day life. We have to make sure that we follow this. And then the third part is again has a three advice with regard to knowledge. And this is also very important. And sometimes we ask questions for the sake of asking, we need visibility, the human psychology, hey, I'm here, I'm asking a question. So I know it is, but I just wanted to ask so that people know I'm just sitting right there. But anyway, the Imam is saying, ask scholars which you do not know and avoid asking them if it will cause embarrassment or a trial for him. Sometimes we do that, right? That's number one. Be wary of acting on your own opinion and take precaution in all the matters that you can find a way. So you have to find, something in between. Be wary of. It's just not like, act on your opinion. And this is very important. Avoid giving religious edicts just as you would avoid a lion. And do not make your neck a bridge for people. means don't carry the burden of other sin. If you give someone religious advice or a fatwa, you are not allowed to, number one, avoid that. So three things Imam said, if I quickly repeat, ask the scholar that you do not know, but make sure that's not by his embarrassment or the trial or testing his knowledge. That's number one. Number two, be wary of acting on your own opinion and take precaution. So you have to be careful, or I have to be careful. Third, don't give fatwa. So as I said, these are 9 things. First, about the first 3 things that regard to food is about discipline. It will bring discipline in the life. Very easy. If I quickly repeat in 1 minute about the discipline, eat when you are hungry, eat with the name of Allah, stop before you are full. That's it. The second one is about the self-control of patience. If someone says to you that if you said one insulting thing to me, I'll tell you 10 or something in that context. You say, even if you said 10 insulting things to me, you will not hear a single one from me. That's number one. Number two, if someone says something to you, which is not okay, just hold on and say, hey, whatever you are saying, if you are right, please ask Allah for my forgiveness. But what you are saying is not correct, then I have already forgiven you. The third in that context is, if someone say bad thing to you, say good thing to them. In that way, it will increase your patience. And then in regard to knowledge, ask what you want to know, make sure it's not for the trial. Avoid, on your self-opinion too much. It's like, okay, this is what I think is correct. Just be careful and don't give fatwa. So this is Hadith Unwane Basari, and I mentioned last time that it's so easy to follow, but it has a lot of impact if you could do that. Now the second part, if I could quickly wrap up, I think we have, what time is the
8:20.
8:20. Okay, so hopefully in 5-6 minutes, inshallah, 5 minutes, so that you guys have at least 5-6 minutes time. Since we are gathered here for this occasion, the wafat of Sayyida Khadija, peace be upon her, she was a distinct cousin of the Prophet. If you see the family tree, like 4 or 5 generations ahead, the Qusay has 2 sons, Abd Munaf and Abdul Uzza, and she was grand-daughter, and then the Prophet Muhammad, as you know that, Abdullah, Abdul Muttalib, Hashim, and Abdul Munaf. So there's the family tree that connect to Qusay. So she was a cousin of the Prophet. There's a lot of different narration about her age and when she died and what age it was, and also there's a different opinion, but probably she was already married twice and had children with their previous marriage when she married to Prophet, but some also say that she was not married before. But this narration, because the children were there, looks more reliable that she was married and had children. And she also had taken care of children of her sister as well. So sometime if you see different narration, how many children Prophet has, there's a lot of confusion. I don't want to go into detail the number, but we all know that Prophet, peace be upon him, did not have any children from any other wife except Janab Khadija. And he had other children who could not survive, and the only child, Janab Fatima Zahra, survived. Peace be upon her. So that's the narration where we ulama agree on, and we all know about that. And in other, in history, there's so much confusion about that because there were other children as well, children from her sister. she was taking care of. And as we know that there's one incident because Imam Ali and she was the first, one who supported the Prophet. And I wanted to just quickly read a rawayat, and it's a pre-Islamic, means when Prophet have not announced his prophethood. So the rawayat is from Yahya ibn Alif. He quoted saying that he once came during the period of Jahiliyyah to Makkah, and he was hosted by Abbas ibn Abdul Muttalib, the uncle of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So he said, when the sun started rising, I saw a man who came out of a place not far from us, faced the Kaaba, and he started performing his prayers. He hardly started before being joined by a young boy who stood on his right side, and then by a woman who stood behind him. When he bowed down, the young boy and the woman bowed, and when he stood up straight, they did. So likewise, so for him it was quite strange that they are praying the salat, and he was observing. So he asked to Abbas, "So Abbas, this is quite strange." Then Abbas said, "Isn't it? Do you know who he is?" Abbas asked his guest, and he answered in the negative. Then Abbas said, "He is Muhammad ibn Abdullah, my nephew. Do you know who the young boy is?" He said, "No, indeed." Abbas answered that to the guest that he's Ali, son of Abu Talib. "Do you know the woman is?" The answer came again in negative, to whom Abbas said, "She is the Khadija bint Khuwailid, my nephew's wife." So this is a beautiful rawayat that says that even before Prophet announced his prophethood, Imam Ali and Hazrat Khadija were following the deen and praying. And this hadith is quite famous and noted by several other books as well, from non-Shia books as well. But we all know that, when the early days was difficult, and we know the history that, Ahle Makkah boycotted the family, and they had to go into Shebe Abu Talib. And it was a difficult time. So she faced a lot of difficulty. If you see a lady of the status, and at that time, he was Malikatul Arab. He was a businesswoman, and she was a businesswoman, and she gave everything in the name of Islam, all the wealth. And then sometimes, when there's a difficulty, then it's a hard time. It was so difficult time that during the Shebe Abu Talib, that she was sick, she was and not doing well, and finally departed this world. At that time, she had a daughter. I was thinking, and I'll take probably a couple minutes, that what musiba I should recite today. I found that if you look the Ahlul Bayt, their daughters had to go through such a musiba. The daughter of Prophet, Janab Fatima Zahra, she was a little child when her mother died. Just some rawaya, 2-year-old. But then history repeated again, and then the daughter of Ali was so little when her mother departed this world. But then it reminded me another daughter from the family of Ahlul Bayt, the daughter of Hussein, Sakina. I mean, if you look, these 3 daughters, when Janab Khadija departed this world, I don't know what kind of, how Janab Fatima Zahra would have bear this pain, this departure. And then Zainab, when she had to say goodbye to her mother. And then the Musiba has reached at the peak in Karbala, when daughter of Hussein, Sakina, has to go through so much that after the Shahadat of Imam Hussein, when the tent were burned and the Sakina were out crying. I don't know how such a child of such age, I don't know how they have gone through it. And you know what astonishing to me is you will not find a single word of complaint. Just say, "Oh Allah, you have chosen me for this trial." Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. May Allah accept. This is small ibadah. May Allah grant us the best reward